Okay, picture this. You've got friends coming over, the house is kind of a mess, the clock is ticking, and you suddenly realize you still need to actually feed everyone. Look, we have absolutely all been there. Hosting a party should be fun, right? It shouldn't be a one-way ticket to a full-on culinary panic attack. So today, in this explainer, we're breaking down the ultimate stress-free, crowd-pleasing lifesaver, the Pillsbury Crescent Roll Taco Bake. We're going to take this super simple recipe and turn it into a really fun, seamless cooking story that'll basically make you the hero of your next gathering. Let's get into it. Need a crowd-pleasing party dish in a pinch? I mean, that is the golden question, isn't it? The anxiety of party planning is very real. You want something that looks totally impressive and tastes incredible, but you definitely don't want a dish that chains you to the stove while your guests are out in the living room having all the fun without you. Well, this taco bake is our mouth-watering solution. It takes all those familiar, beloved flavors of a classic taco night and just wraps them up in this cozy, sliceable, highly shareable format. It's essentially a savory pie that just begs to be the centerpiece of your party table. Section 1. Gathering your arsenal. Every great culinary adventure begins with the right ingredients, and what's honestly so incredible about this foundation is just how accessible it is. These are your core building blocks. We're starting with one 8-ounce can of Pillsbury Original Crescent Rolls. Make sure it's the 8-count size. Then, grab 1 pound of 80 to 90% lean ground beef, 3/4 of a cup of thick, chunky salsa, 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning, and a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. But hey, here's a little pro tip to elevate this for your specific crowd. You can so easily swap out that standard cheddar for a sharp pepper jack to add some heat. Or, try mixing a little smoked paprika or chipotle chili powder right into your taco seasoning for a deeper, smokier vibe. The beauty of this base is that it's highly adaptable to whatever mood your party needs. And here is where the fun really begins, because once your bake is done, you need a vibrant, fresh topping arsenal to bring the whole dish to life. We're talking a cup of shredded lettuce, half a cup of diced Roma tomatoes, a 1/4 cup of diced white onion, extra salsa, 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh cilantro, and of course, sliced jalapenos. Now, if you're serving a really large group, this is where you can create a massive DIY topping bar. Just set all these beautiful, colorful ingredients out in little bowls right next to the hot taco bake. It completely transforms a simple meal into this interactive party activity where every single guest gets to customize their own perfect, personalized slice. It's a total game changer. Section 2. Building the flaky foundation. With our ingredients prepped and ready to go, we're moving right into the construction phase. 375. That right there is your magic number. You want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit right away. And while that's heating up, go ahead and grab your dish. You'll need either a 10-inch pie plate or a 9-inch square baking dish. Now listen up, because here is a absolutely crucial detail. Leave it ungreased. Seriously, don't grease it. The Crescent dough already has a wonderful natural butteriness to it, so adding extra grease is just going to make things super slippery and completely mess with the texture. Okay, so getting this architecture right is absolutely key. Think of this as laying the foundation for a delicious, savory house. You're going to unroll that crescent dough and carefully separate it into the 8 pre-cut triangles. Then arrange those pieces over the bottom of your dish and gently press them slightly up the sides. And this final step in the phase, it's the most important one. Pinch those seams completely closed. You are essentially waterproofing the bottom of your bake here, because if you leave gaps, all those amazing savory juices from the beef are just going to leak right through, and you'll lose that beautiful flaky crust texture we're aiming for. So pinch it tight. Section 3. Crafting the flavor core. Crust is secured. Now we transition over to the stovetop to get things sizzling. You'll take that pound of beef and cook it up in a 10-inch skillet over medium heat. You want to spend a good 8 to 10 minutes breaking it down into nice, small crumbles until there is literally no pink remaining. And once it's fully browned, you must drain off the fat. I mean, nobody wants a greasy taco bake, right? With the fat gone, you just stir in your taco seasoning and that thick salsa. Then let the whole mixture simmer for 4 to 5 minutes, making sure to stir it often so all those robust spaces can really wake up and bind right to the beef. Now, the visual cue for your success here is simmering this mixture until it becomes thick and glossy. If it looks watery at all, just keep it on the heat a little bit longer. You really want the salsa and the spices to reduce down and coat every single crumble of beef in this rich, flavorful glaze. Sensory-wise, it should smell absolutely incredible and look intensely savory. Section 4. Pro tips for hosts. Let's pause the cooking action for just a quick second, because we need to talk strategy. I absolutely love this approach. Cook the beef filling ahead, but assemble right before baking. Guys, this right here is the ultimate lifesaver for advanced party prep. If you want to actually, enjoy the party you're throwing, you can cook that thick, glossy beef mixture entirely the day before. Just keep it in an airtight container in the fridge. Then, when your guests start arriving, all you have to do is pop open the crescent dough, build your foundation, warm the beef up slightly, and assemble the whole shebang. You look like an absolute culinary wizard, and you haven't even broken a sweat while your guests are hanging out. Now, let's look at a quick salsa showdown. The recipe explicitly calls for thick, chunky salsa, and the reasoning behind this is totally critical to your bake structure. If you use thick, chunky salsa, your result is a sturdy, flaky crescent crust that perfectly holds its shape when you slice it. But if you try to cut corners with a thin, watery salsa, well, that excess moisture is going to seep right into your carefully pinched dough. The result? A soft, soggy, pretty disappointing crust. Protect your structural integrity, folks. For sure, go thick with the salsa. Section 5. The Golden Bake. Okay, we've got our perfectly seasoned beef, our leak-proof crust, and our guests are definitely getting hungry. It is time for the grand finale. The assembly here is just incredibly satisfying. You take that glorious, glossy beef mixture and spoon it evenly right over the raw crescent dough foundation. Make sure you spread it all the way out to the edges. Next, you blanket the entire thing with that cup of shredded cheddar, or, pepper jack if you took our spicy advice earlier. Finally, pop it into your 375-degree oven for 14 to 17 minutes. When you finally pull this beauty out of the oven, this is exactly what you're looking for. Deep golden brown on the edges of that crescent crust, and the cheese should be bubbling and melted to absolute perfection all across the top. The contrast between the flaky pastry, the savory meat, and that rich melted cheese is literally going to make your kitchen smell like a dream. It's a visual climax that will have your guests migrating toward the kitchen immediately. But wait, 5 minutes. This might honestly be the hardest step in the entire explainer. You have got to let this taco bake rest for 5 minutes before you even think about taking a knife to it. I know, it's super tempting, but if you cut it piping hot right out of the oven, the melted cheese and all those hot beef juices are just going to slide everywhere. Give it 5 minutes to set up, cool down just slightly, and allow the crust to firm up. This guarantees that when you do slice it, you get perfectly portioned, beautiful warm triangles that hold together wonderfully. And that brings us to the absolute best part of the night. You've sliced it up, the party is buzzing, and you get to direct everyone over to the topping bar. So, the only question left is, how will you top your perfect party slice? Are you going to load it up with crisp lettuce, bright tomatoes, and sharp onions? Or maybe keep it super simple with just a mountain of jalapenos and extra salsa? By breaking down the steps and doing a little clever prep ahead of time, you've transformed a simple can of dough and some ground beef into an unforgettable, totally stress-free party centerpiece. So get creative with those toppings and let me know what's going on your perfect slice. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy cooking.